Congresswoman, I want to ask you about coronavirus. Given the shocking rise in Florida cases, the state has really come under scrutiny for the accuracy and transparency of their reporting on numbers after a scientist who created Florida's COVID-19 dashboard says she was fired after she refused to make changes to data supporting the state's plan to reopen. Do you think your state is being honest with case totals at this point?
Well, Sonny, let me say this. The Surgeon General here in Florida declared a public health emergency on March 1st. Yet it wasn't until April 3rd that the governor issued a stay-at-home order. So we've had some issues with our response to COVID-19. We know the story about the analyst who was fired, she says, because she was being honest about what she was reporting. We certainly see the numbers in Florida. While they are better than originally predicted, I believe a lot of that is because individuals took responsibility on their own to shelter in place and practice the CDC guidelines. We've had some questions about even the numbers coming out of our nursing homes here in Florida. There's always been this question about the numbers that have been reported. Were they accurate? And so we're still keeping an eye on that. We're still trying to make sure as we reopen Florida, and it's unbelievable, but as the numbers rise, prepare for the Republican National Convention. We're still keeping an eye on the numbers and trying to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to give individual families and others accurate information so they can protect themselves during this very critical time.
Congresswoman, President Trump is bringing back his campaign rallies, and he had planned one on Friday, June 19th, the anniversary known as Juneteenth. He has now moved the rally one day later amidst mounting pressure and criticism, and everyone who attends his rally must sign a waiver assuming risks related to COVID. Trump says they've already had over 800,000 ticket requests. Clearly, these rallies were effective for him in the last election. What do you think Vice President Biden can do and his campaign right now to counter what President Trump is doing?
Well, I commend Vice President Biden for being the adult in the room. We are in the middle of a public health crisis. I am thankful that Vice President Biden is listening to the CDC, our medical experts, and our scientists, and continuing to practice social distancing. Look, he's getting his message out. He's held some very important virtual rallies and addressed the nation about many things, including racism and social injustices. He's talked about CDC and what the COVID-19 and what he believes needs to happen. The president, on the other hand, obviously is desperate and worried about the upcoming election in November. And for the individuals that he is inviting to come to a rally, you know, I've dealt with evidence and clues for a long time in my career. When you have to sign a medical waiver saying that you won't hold the president responsible if you contract COVID-19 is a pretty good clue that the president should not be holding a rally. This is yet another opportunity for the president of the United States to put people first. And yet again, he just can't seem to find it within himself to do that.